Well, I mean, I was prepared. I just had the wrong setup, so I wasn't prepared.
Before we talk, I need a burp, and I don't want to be rude.
Do it. Do it.
It failed me.
Okay, so anyway, I want to give Queen Fin an opportunity to talk about the crap that's been happening.
Here it is. Now she's live.
Now you're live. Hey, it's my favorite Shadow.
Shadow!
The hedge blog.
The hedge vlog.
I don't know if I should start playing before.
I'm just hanging out at Seaside Hill.
Hey, I love
another
this
pub.
perspective.
Just hanging out by the seaside. Seaside Hill.
Summertime, you know what that means.
So, what do we do now?
We're
Alright,
good. We're good.
So, as you guys fucking know, the
Yep.
country is a fucking disaster right now, and I don't care if this sounds like it's not serious. I'm being 100 goddamn serious, okay? What is happening right now in the country is not fucking okay, and it will never fucking be okay.
It's been
And
happening forever.
I don't mean people protesting is not okay, because that is 100% fine. But the way that people are getting treated by our fucking government is atrocious and fascist and authoritarian, and I can't stand it anymore. But because I'm white, I shouldn't just be the only one talking about this, so I have Sharitha and Danita here.
Yeah.
Because this directly affects them.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm fine. Keep going.
Yeah. It is a very serious topic. That's a really great way to start it because I'm really, really disappointed in the government. And I'm extremely disappointed in our so-called, in quotations, commander-in-chief. But that's a whole other...
Just call him the Cheeto-in-Chief. Like,
Cheetah
Man. I love the Cheetah Man.
Yeah.
not Chester Cheeto.
So yeah, if you guys don't know, you know,
Or if you just don't
George Floyd,
understand.
well, it's not just him. Actually, this is a combination of things that's been happening for decades and decades and decades. It's just hit a fever pitch because of the virus.
The virus has been definitely stressing people. Everyone's seen basically an execution of George Floyd.
Yeah,
That's what it was to me. It felt like an execution.
Because
it felt like it was.
Wasn't it a month ago? Another young African American man was killed by a vigilante.
I called him a vigilante because he picked one.
He was
An asshole with a gun, basically.
Yeah, basically. And then there was a young girl who got killed by officers. I heard in her room. And
Yeah,
she was
her
asleep.
birthday.
She was asleep, and they had supposedly had the wrong house to somebody they already had in custody, and they shot her like 8 times or
Yeah, and
something.
she
Like
was an EMT.
Yeah, and it's just though these aren't people on the streets. These ain't thugs. These ain't hood rats. These are innocent people. Just like a year ago, there was a man who went into his home. A lady broke into somebody else's house, thinking it was an officer. The officer came in and just shoot him.
I thought she was the officer.
No, wait, yeah, sorry. The woman who thought
The woman was the officer.
yeah.
Who thought she was in her apartment, but she ended up going into this other guy's apartment. He was a black guy, and she ended up shooting him. And he was just a normal guy.
He was a pastor.
Yeah, a pastor, which is even worse. And he was trying to get people on the right track in life. And she had her day in court, right? And she just seemed so like she didn't care.
She didn't care.
But things like that, it's like it's always been happening in some form or way, and it's heartbreaking. You never know sometimes when you leave the house if you're gonna be okay, or even if you're in your daily routine, if you're gonna be fine. Because you don't know someone could pull up on you, or a police could pull you over, or some crazy stuff. And some states have it worse than others. I like to think that in my life I've been extremely blessed to just have my normal routine and go off to work, come back home. But some people don't have it that way. So I just honestly think that everything has been building up, and the whole George Floyd thing has definitely just been the straw that broke the camel's back.
Pretty much.
So people are just getting tired of it. This younger generation, they're not dealing with it anymore. Definitely to the older generation, I've been seeing people coming up to like the newscasters or whatever on the streets, and they have been telling them what it is. They've been going up to officers' faces or the military's faces, and they've been saying, hey, take a knee with us or walk with us. You guys are supposed to be protecting us. Why aren't you protecting us?
This has been going on for quite some
But
time.
I honestly think the younger generation, they definitely strong, man. They're not dealing with this. They're not.
I just want to like ask, like,
Yeah.
is your family like seeing what's going on right now? And like, I would assume that they were around during the 60s when it was happening then, right?
Mhm. For sure.
So,
My mom
do they
grew up-
feel like it's the exact same thing, or do they feel like it's worse?
Well, from what my mom says, that actually we could ask our mother. Yeah, we could ask.
Don't mind us trying to see if we can get her to answer that question, because that's I mean, she was born in the 60s, so well, she was like a little girl during that time, the whole march and everything.
Yeah.
But I definitely know my aunts and uncles. Like, it's kind of interesting because I can tell, like, definitely with my grandmothers and my older aunts and uncles, like, just the way that they carry themselves with, like, about, like, people who are not black. They're, like, a much more, like, angrier at them, or they just don't give them the benefit of the doubt, because I felt like they never was given the benefit of the doubt, you know? So
Yeah.
sometimes my grandma gets so angry, she's always, I ain't gonna lie, sometimes she blaming people for it. And I'm like, Grandma, you can't say that, you know, it's not true. Not all of them are like that. You know, there are bad seeds, but there's bad seeds with black people too. And by like, well, she grew up in the 30s, in the 40s, so it was like worse than.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Jim
understandable.
Crow era.
Yeah, pretty much. So sometimes like I'd be like, oh, she's just frustrated. It's just like, you know, the way that she's used to it, you know. But I don't know. Pretty intense.
It's shitty that it
All
even
this
was
stuff
like
just
that
makes me like sad.
before.
Because, I mean, I know I haven't really personally I'm honestly too scared. But I have tried to donate and try to spread the word around on my platforms and stuff.
I think people need to understand that it's okay if you're not in the protests specifically, because this is an effort that has many different avenues and lanes in it, and not everybody can be in that lane. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna go out and protest because
Actually,
Yeah.
I don't
I
want to
need
get sick or get hurt, but like I've been giving my money away and I've been speaking out about it, and I wanted to give you guys like this platform to talk about it too. So,
Yeah.
but I also feel like we need people that, even though we're bringing awareness to it, people that can entertain you and like make you de-stress a little bit, because this kind of stuff like wears down on you so much.
It's very mentally straining and like just, I mean, it's exhausting and it's just, it makes people scared and they don't know if they can go to bed, or especially the things that have been happening in cities like riots and stuff.
yeah.
And I just want to point out that most of the riots are started by non-protesters.
Exactly.
There has been many
You're not
reports
from-
of white supremacist groups. They even have fucking Discord groups, okay, where they plan to go to protests and start like riots and stuff. They see people with fucking earpieces in their ear. It's ridiculous.
I want to say something really quick.
Yeah.
People who are considering subscribing to me right now, instead of spending the $5 on that, please donate it to one of the what do you call it?
Charities?
Yeah.
Charity? Is it considered a charity?
I would assume so. You
Yeah.
have bail funds and you have resources, like they give resources to people that are fighting this. And
Yeah.
I also
Actually, I have
want to point out, before Sharitha gets back, it's kind of not entirely on the topic of like being black, but please understand that this president is very fucking dangerous, okay? Because people were like, oh, he's not going to be as bad as we're making. He's not going to be the next Hitler like you're all saying. Well, I'd like to point to you in the direction of where he's defunding things that belong to black people, and he's defunding certain resources. And then when people fight against him and they speak the truth, he will tear them down in any possible way that he can and make lies about them and make sure that he frames his words in a way that manipulates the masses that follow him blindly, okay? And then now he is telling governors and people of the law that they have to dominate their people, that they can't let the people run them over as the government. That's not how our government fucking works, okay? Our government in the United States of America is run by the people of the United States, okay? That's why we fucking vote. That's why we have a goddamn democracy. And to assume that the government has control over people as opposed to people having control over the government is completely and totally authoritarian, okay? Our fucking Constitution says we the people of the United States, right?
Yeah.
Not the government of the United States. Okay?
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm not surprised that Donald Trump wouldn't fucking go back to the Constitution and understand that it says that, because he can't read past the fucking 3rd grade level.
Listen, alright? Donald Trump's gotta keep that money for his B-Book collection. Alright?
No, he's keeping money so that he can keep silencing rape victims, okay? That he's raped. If you want proof on that, go to fucking Anonymous. They released it.
Right? He is a rich man. He thought becoming president was like becoming a dictator, and that's why he wants to get his name in the history books by any means necessary.
Oh, he's gonna be in the history books.
He wants to be in the history books.
He can just stop now. He's already gonna be.
Right?
Like the worst president ever.
It's worse
Honestly.
than like George Bush. Like,
Well,
I honestly rather have that asshole back in the office than the one that we have right now, okay? And George Bush looks like a fucking powdered donut, okay? I don't, like, we have powdered donut versus Cheeto, okay?
Someone said they were leaving.
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Queen
so
Pen came back.
My sister, my sister.
I help.
My mother said this. She brought up a good her quote was this. She was saying that she's very proud of this generation because in her generation, they didn't believe this was real. You know, they didn't believe the racism and police brutality was, you know, that serious because they didn't have some point out and show
Catch them.
in the
The
act.
act.
But because of social, because of this,
We're able to see it.
we're able to see it.
Yeah, proof.
It's undeniable now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's probably why Donald Trump wants to control what Twitter and Facebook post, which they already kind of fucking do anyway. They do take things down and they pretend that they're not doing it. But, like, things will mysteriously disappear on the internet. But
Yeah.
you have to understand, because I learned this back in college when it wasn't necessarily what was going on in our country, even though Ferguson was kind of happening around the same time. But before Ferguson had happened, there was also protests going on in Egypt, and people thought that like it wasn't that serious until people started posting videos online, because social media is a tool that allows you to expose what is like it's basically like a live fucking diary, like and if you notice, any country that strictly controls its social media often has a government that oppresses its people. So you cannot allow the government to control social media at all, period. Like, dead stop, you cannot fucking control this. And I understand that it's breeding ground for a lot of terrible fucking things, because I mean, look at fucking Tumblr. Look at, like, Twitter. It gets
Yeah,
very
one
toxic.
person I can't believe it.
Yeah, but continue.
Like, it gets very toxic, but you have to understand that there is a way to combat that disinformation, and there is a way to combat that toxicity. I think that the internet sometimes makes things look worse than they actually are when it's not a serious topic, but when it's a serious topic, obviously it brings light to the issue that is very, very fucking serious. So,
Yeah.
Don't censor social media at all.
Somebody
and I
said
think everyone
Facebook-
everyone needs to make an effort to not post lies on the internet and not create breeding ground for radicalism, even though it's very hard to not do that, because even without social media, people do get radicalized for whatever political ideology that they have. But if you think about it, yeah, we complain about white supremacists on social media, but look how many more people are against white supremacy than there are that aren't, because the truth of the matter is the truth will set you fucking free. Okay, you know when something is true, and if you don't, obviously you have something askew with your moral compass. I'm looking at you fucking skinheads and shit, because you know, people, I don't believe people are inherently evil. I truly believe that people often learn to hate people through the environments that they live in, even if they grow up in a good environment and they turn out to be like very filled with hatred and stuff. Often something along the line has gone wrong. I certainly just don't believe that people are naturally evil.
Yeah. They always be saying things like, children, you know, they don't hate people. They learn that from either their parents or, I guess, yeah, like, things in their environment as they grow up. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not
And
born with hate.
even if you don't learn it from, because my dad was talking about this the other day, like,
Mhm.
he says he's not racist, and I don't truly believe that my dad hates people of different races, but oftentimes he will say something that you just look at him and you go, you can't say things like that, and you have to understand the issue behind it, because like some older people just don't understand the deep, like, the depth of the problem that's at hand, and
Right.
that's not always their fault. It's how our schools doctrinate people, and it's how the environments that we grow up in make us learn. Like, society has certain cues that we pick up on whether we realize it or not. So my grandfather never taught my dad to be racist or say bad things, but he learns that from the environment that he grows up in, because he grew up in like the 60s and 70s. But my dad would never deny help, because my dad's an EMT, but he would never deny help to somebody who fucking needed it, depending on their skin color. Like, he just wouldn't do that because he knows it's not right. So that's
Right.
fucked up.
Right. What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say that's very true, because
Okay, here we go.
I think every black person or anybody of color, any color, doesn't matter if you're black or white or anything, you will have your own experience of some form of racism. I remember when our neighbors, we had neighbors across the street. They are multi-race couple. Where the mother's white and the dad's black, and their kids are mixed. And our one neighbor, she's white. Her mother is sweet. She don't care what ethnicity you are. And her, what was that? He was at her stepfather, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Her stepfather, great guy, nice dude, fantastic as well. So one day they had a party, and his kids are from Kentucky, and I was taking out the trash one day, and one of his grandkids, excuse my language, saying, "Oh, you got Ns living next to you." And I was like,
God.
"Excuse me?" And he looked at me like, "Oh, you can talk," and I was like, and I pushed him out. And this kid wasn't too old; he was pretty young. And I told the grandfather, and he was so upset. You can definitely see it in his face, like it's a painful thing he has ever heard. And I remember he grabbed that kid and smacked him right in the mouth. And he said, "Who taught you that?" And he said, "Well, Dad sometimes say that." And he was like, "What? Your dad used that language?" And I remember them having a huge argument outside, him talking to his, because that's technically his son-in-law, not his son. And he told his daughter, and she was upset too. She was like, "You been teaching him the words?" And he was like, well, we just never see him anywhere around. And his father was just so nonchalant about it. And he told him, you have to go. He's doing this. Because he started dating our neighbor's mother, a couple of years. And they don't really talk to his side of the family a lot. And I could see why. But when he said that, because our neighbor's kid, he came over and he said, is it true? Did he actually call you the N-word? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I can't believe it. He said, I never talked to them and I never met them before. But he said, now I definitely never want to talk to them and be around them. But yeah, but the fact of the matter is, like, this is a small kid. Like, the kid was probably like 7 years old. And he just straight up said it with no hesitation, no shaking.
Yeah, you get taken back by that.
You get taken back on. Just like when I hear all these kids going online, like the kids on Fortnite. I think there was there was an incident where there was a Fortnite kid. He was just spurring out the N-word, and people got really upset. And of course, he gave the whole spiel like, "Oh, I didn't know what it means and that and this." But I can't blame a lot of people were yelling at him for that. But I thought about when that kid said it to me. A kid doesn't really know what that word means. If you use it all the time, and you hear your parents use it all the time, you're like, oh, that's just a word. You don't really learn the value of words until you get a little bit older. Like, and look at all the rap videos and songs that use the N-word. That's why when I hear a white kid say the N-word, I don't really get upset or offended, because it's not their fault that they think this derogatory, hateful, wicked word is an okay word, because we glorify it. I mean, look at all the rappers, the Hispanic rappers, the black rappers, the white rappers, who all use the N-word like it's nothing.
Can I ask a question, though?
Yeah.
Because I do, like, where I grew up in the city. One of the worst cities, or supposedly one of the worst cities in the country. I grew up in fucking Newark, New Jersey, baby. And everyone there used... I'm not gonna say this word, obviously, because one, Twitch will kill me. Two, this is not fucking right for me to say, according to some people. But, like, they use the N-word, but not with the hard R. And they didn't care whether you were white, or if you were Hispanic or black, and you all used that word to refer to each other as, like, friends and stuff. But, like, if you drop the hard R, you're gonna get fucking destroyed. Like,
Yeah. So there's a difference between
With
the A and the hard R. The hard R is
like vicious.
yeah. Because, like, I feel kind of desensitized when people use it with an A, but the second I hear a hard R, it, like, really strikes a chord in me that it's just like, that does not feel right. Like, you physically feel the animosity in it, like...
Yeah. It's the way people say it,
Yeah.
and how
Like-
hard they say it.
Aggressive.
Yeah.
Extremely, extremely aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah. So when there is a huge difference. Like, I think especially in this day and age, if you use the, like, okay, like, people get mad when you use the N-word, period. But
Yeah.
when you use the hard R one, it really offends people. Even rappers don't use the hard R sound. Like, I have never heard a black person say the hard R to someone. They'll say the A word, one with the A. But I have never in my life have heard anyone say the hard R. That is, even when they get upset at each other, I have never heard it. And it's kind of like a taboo. I mean, I think both of them should be taboo, but I can understand the A one because that's actual color in Spanish. Like, I worked in a box factory company a couple of years back, and they would say they would say the N-word, but they didn't say it in a cuss word slur way, because they would always say, oh, no, I mean, because we would have two types of socks that we make. There were one that were black, white, and gray, so every time when one of the Hispanics would say the N-word, they would go like, or Negro, it means black.
In their language.
And they're quickly say like, no, color, and I'm like, I get you, you don't have to freak out, I understand. But Like, they always would turn around and quickly say, color, socks. It was very nice because the fact of the matter is, they would say that, like, even the young guys, they would turn around and go like, oh, no, we mean the socks. And I'm like, I appreciate it. Like, the fact of the matter is they didn't want to offend anybody because that factor, there was a lot of mixed races there. So I'm thinking they said that because, probably someone got upset hearing that. And someone brought up a good point. One of the Hispanics lady was telling me, like, the N-word, the hard R doesn't even exist in their language until, Caucasians started using it, trying to find a different way to belittle, the slaves. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that's something new. But, I mean, this whole situation was bowling.
Rolling to a ball.
Yeah, it was rolling to hit this point. And it's sad, but it's a good thing. This has been happening years and years. The young black guy who got shot, which after his death, they put cameras on cops now. Now they have to wear cameras.
And they turn those cameras off, which
And they
should
turn them off.
immediately that should be a felony of destroying evidence.
Yes, that's what they're trying to get now. I know somebody at the NAACP is trying to get that now as a law, that if you turn off the camera, it should have been a law. It should have been passed a law, because I don't understand why they wasn't. But, it's these cops. I understand cops are doing their job. They're trying to protect people. They do it because most people do become a cop because they believe in a sense of justice. And they want to make a difference.
Can I stop you right there? Because I personally don't agree with that. Because 40% of cops are domestic abusers, and have you ever heard the stereotype that the kid with C's in high school and he's kind of the bully goes on to be the cop because it gives him a position of power over people?
Yeah, I have.
So I know that there are good police officers. I know them because my dad works with the cops sometimes, so I know the police department of where I live. But you have to understand that when you voluntarily work for a system that was basically built on systemic injustice, you kind of have to weigh your apples and oranges.
Okay.
Like, I know they're supposed to protect us, but how many times do the police abuse people? How many times do they arrest people for no reason? Why do they have quotas to fill out for how many arrests they make? Why do they have quotas for how many tickets they give out? Why is it that when someone's a victim of sexual assault, they can't get help from the police? Like, I know that the police has a supposed call to do good, but oftentimes that's just the mask that they put on for the injustices that they unfortunately do. It comes in the way of how they train the police, because I recently saw something that police get a certain amount of hours in firearm and, self-defense training, but only like 8 hours of how to, help, like, distressful situations like that are going on right now. And like, police don't need to have militarized weapons, they don't need to have militarized gear. Like, why are the police getting closer and closer to looking like the military? I literally did this in college. I literally put a picture of the NYPD next to fucking Nazis, and the resemblance was very terrifying.
I also saw something recently where they said they were just now finally training the NYPD to take care of certain situations like the ones happening right now.
The NYPD's a joke, by the way.
Speaking of the riots, there was I think in New York, there was, cops, they were rioting, and they were looting, and then somebody broke into a police car, and he had an AK-47 in his car, and a person was walking around with it, and an officer pulled out a handgun, and another officer, he told him to drop the AK-47, and someone was asking, why are there AK-47s in a police car?
Some of the I've been hearing that some people think that these little riots are planned attacks and something going on. It may be a conspiracy theory, but stuff like that is not normal. They're putting cinder blocks and bombs and
It's
things
not
like
a
that. Like,
conspiracy theory. It's the truth. People are recording the police literally dumping things to tempt
people
protesters and
got
stuff.
bombs. I ain't got no bomb in my house.
I was also reading it
Yeah,
was
the
mostly
thing
the.
is this, it's sad that, like I said, it's sad that the rioting got violent, but it's like the government doesn't listen to us until we get violent, until
Yeah.
we
Exactly.
start
Like,
trouble. If the George guy was a white man and he was a black officer and he had a fake 20, this is all over a fake $20 bill. If that
Which-
was the case,
by the way, fake 20s can land in people's pockets because they don't realize that it's a fake 20 that they got from a fucking register.
You're literally trained that too as a cashier, not to accuse the customer of forging shit. Like, you just have to say, "I'm sorry, I can't take this," and let them go. You don't go calling the police on them. They probably didn't know.
you also got to remember, this is a pandemic. A lot of people don't have a lot of money. He was probably desperate, saying like, I really need whatever I'm trying to get for $20. Can't you like turn on the other way? And he's going, no, you don't leave, I'm gonna call the cops. You know, you gotta remember, this is during the pandemic. A lot of people didn't have jobs. A lot of people couldn't get unemployment. A lot of people were desperate. So I want to know what's up with the cashier, but of course they're not going to talk to the cashier. But the whole thing is, if this was any other ethnicity, if this was a Chinese, Indian, probably, except for Hispanic. I hate to say it, if this was a Hispanic person who got hurt, they probably would have treated just. And I don't, sadly, right now, if you're Hispanic and you're listening to this, you guys, a lot of kind of shoving this off. But once
They do.
you're done with us black people, once we slowly get past this, they're going to treat you guys just shitty.
I would like to point out to the Hispanics that are turning away to black Americans, you have to understand that your people are also in fucking cages, okay? You're not treated any better by our fucking government because of the color of your goddamn skin.
There's a lot of shit going
Like,
on
think
with
of-
like people treating Mexicans really poorly and stuff.
Think of,
Mom,
but most of the Hispanics who are ignoring this, they don't realize they are in a worse position than us. A lot of Americans, especially a lot of high-end Americans, think Hispanics are stupid. They only want low-paying jobs. They're uneducated. They're not smart. They're smart. They just choose to live in a. They think playing ignorant protects them. I cannot working with them. Working with a lot of Hispanics. A lot of them don't want to learn English. The males don't want to learn English because they feel if once they learn English, they have to have responsibility, and they don't want that responsibility because then they can't play the whole ignorant card of, oh, I didn't know this or that. But they don't realize them playing ignorant is even more dangerous because then people are thinking, oh, you're an illegal immigrant, especially with Trump as your president. I can't tell. When I worked at the factory place, most of the people who spoke English were only the females. None of the men spoke English. So one of the ladies, her citizenship, she's been living in America as not a citizen. But when Trump became president, she immediately got her citizenship because she has an entire family here of children that were born and raised here in America. And she did not want to be sent back to Mexico and not be with her family and lose the opportunity. She got on I remember because she was talking to me about it. And I told her I was very happy. A lot of the ladies were happy for her and they were like, oh, we were thinking about it too. So during our lunch break, she got on the thing and was telling all the people, because there were some Africans there and some Indians and people who, haven't gotten their official citizenship. And she told them, like, right now is the time to get it. Because she's like, this Trump guy doesn't, she said it in Spanish, and one of the ladies was translating it to me. She said, the Trump guy He doesn't like foreigners. Not all foreigners. All it takes is him to come and do a search here, and all your lives will be ruined. You won't ever see your kids, and you won't be able to come back. And what happened? We had a search.
Oh no.
And it wasn't good. A lot of them lost their friends. The next day we came back in, because I didn't work that day, a lot of people didn't show up, and they were like, they took them. They just straight up took them. They didn't have citizenship, and they lost it.
I also just want to point out too that America, because I work in a place that is very immigrant heavy, and I work with he's from Portugal, and he got his citizenship here recently, but in order for him to get his citizenship, you have to illegally make a social security number, and the people that give you your citizenships know damn well what they're doing to like make you do it illegally by getting a fake social security number so that you can get a tax ID so that you can get your citizenship. They literally set it up in a way so that you have to break the law in order to become a citizen, because they will put so many hoops in front of you. And this is nothing new. This has been happening since like the 1920s, like where people like they'll make tests for citizenships more difficult for certain races because they don't want them in the country.
Yeah, and Trump is definitely making it more and more difficult for them now. Like, they can't kick out the blacks. We're already in. The Mexicans are trying to get in here now, and they have to realize they do not respect them. And that's the sad thing.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to interrupt, which is why I'm not talking a lot, but back on the subject of like you were saying something about like Hispanic people not supporting the protests and everything that was happening. I haven't heard anything about that.
I've just been hearing about gangbangers killing black people.
I looked up a little bit. Some of them don't, it's some support it. You know, there's quite a few that do support it because they're like, you know, hey, we got melanin in our skins too, so they're probably gonna come at, if I were to go to the store and had a fake $20 bill as well, I would probably get gotten choked out too. But some of them don't think that. Like a lot of Hispanics, like a lot of the world, dark skin isn't viewed as beautiful because of European standards, because European standards is the widest standards in the world. You know, light, fair skin is beautiful.
Didn't Hitler also kind of influence that too?
The darker your skin, the uglier you're considered. And it's always been a thing. It's like that for every country. China, anybody with melanin in their skin. The same thing for, I think the only exception is with Caucasians, where if you get a tan, it shows that you're rich. You have money to spend. Which I always found that to be very weird.
That's
It
really
is weird.
interesting and ironic because they literally will consider you poor and uneducated if you have darker skin, but like the rich people, they go out and they get these fucking tans and like they get real dark. Like, first of all, you have to also understand that even white people, we have melanin in our fucking skin. I went to the skin doctor because I'm full of scars and my scars have a hard time fucking healing because I have a lot of brown in my skin and my skin's uneven. But I'm white, I'm not brown. So I think white people need to fucking realize that, hey, we came from the same fucking place, asshole. Like, thousands of years ago. But that's besides my point. It's just the fucking gall of people to get a tan to show their status, while people who naturally look like that are put down. Like fuck you. Sorry, I'm angry now.
I was gonna say something and I don't remember. What did you say right before that?
I said that we have melanin in our skin. Even as white people, some of us are. We have undertones of like brown in our skin.
I was gonna say, I think one of the problems with society is that you have to like conform. Like when people see something that's different is when they get like aggressive. They always tell people like, here's all of the things that are the same about us and this is why we shouldn't fight, is because of all this stuff that is the same. And it's like, Why can't we embrace our differences also, though? They never, like, tell you to do that. Are you guys- wait, did Discord die? I knew it. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Hey.
Here I am.
It's okay to be different, because even white people, we're all different in our own fucking way. Like,
Every single person's different.
yeah, so we're, even though our base is the same, we have a whole entire, like, set of characteristics that all make us different. So, like, some white people are pinker than others, some white people are, what was the word I was looking for? Like, even white people have different shades of their skin, and the thing is, when white people look at another white person with a different shade in their skin, of white specifically, not like black skin, they don't judge, not really anyway, because, oh hey, you're still white. Like, there's no judgment on the pigment of your skin if it's in the right the white spectrum, sorry. But like,
That wasn't what I was getting at, though.
I know, but like, I was just thinking about it recently, like, people say they don't see color. And that's not a right thing to say, because color is it's a thing, it makes us who we are. When you say you don't see color, and that means you don't see the injustices done to those people of color. I don't know, my brain is like mixing like 4 different thoughts into like one, and it's not coming out right now.
Basically, what I was trying to say is I think people as a society need to do better to embrace our differences rather than tell people, here's all the things that are the same, so stop being mean because everything is the same. Like, it's okay for things to be different. It's okay for people to be different.
I think the people who say that we're the same, they have good intentions.
No, I know they
Because-
do, but I think that that's something that needs to be thought about more.
Yeah, because the basis of it is that we're all the same, but different.
Hey, is Queen Pen and Danita still there?
Yeah, we are. I think
Okay.
so. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I have to question it because Discord's been poopy lately.
Yeah.
Get up. Or...
Ah, we're stuck in the black hole. I have an important announcement to make.
Shadow the Head. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I knew you were gonna. I knew you wouldn't be able to resist that.
My ADHD brain was just like, you gotta, and I'm like, no, we don't.
My important announcement is that Overwatch is trash.
Oh.
There.
No, that's not that.
Overwatch is
Are you playing Overwatch?
trash.
But now get back over here. We're still talking.
I'm over this damn game.
Well, I'm gonna be. I'm not gonna be deleting this game. I'm gonna be.
Kayla, go ahead and do the next Team Dark level.
Really? Because
That's what we're kind of just turned it into a full blown conversation.
Podcast?
So
Playing Team Dark while we're talking about black people.
I was playing Team Sonic, but most of the time I was on the menu screen.
I was just playing, trying to get better scores on levels that I had already beaten.
It's okay, but yeah, like. But
What did you just walk into? Here,
I-
here, I'm gonna drop this link in here again for everybody who wants to help out with the things that have
I'm
been
also
going
gonna
on.
take that link and put it in my chat as well.
I've donated so far a total of $65. As you know, I'm a broke bitch, but I am trying, and I want to encourage everybody who's thinking about subscribing today to go donate instead. And actually, do one of you guys have a link to that video? There's a video somebody made that on YouTube that generates a ton of ad revenue. So
Really?
you can basically just watch the video in order to generate money for the cause as well. You just have to keep in mind that if you watch the video too many times in a row, YouTube will stop generating ad revenue because it thinks it's spam. So you gotta watch another video every so often in between viewing that video. Do you have a link to that?
No, but it's probably on Twitter somewhere.
It's on my Twitter somewhere.
Yeah, put that in Discord too, because I want to see that. I haven't seen it.
I did a donation as well. I donated, I think, a full like
Here, I'll go grab it because it's
$78.
important.
I've only done 50 so far because
Yeah.
I need to unfortunately save some money for upcoming bills and whatnot, and
Yeah, I understand.
I sadly haven't donated anything, but I'm just getting ready to. You have to pay some bills.
You just go
But-
I just needed to. I use my commission money to donate.
But I was planning on doing something though. I don't know what though. But I have to say though, since this event, me and my sister went to the store today, and while we was in the store, I noticed like a lot of African American couples or even young black men were wearing shirts that said, you know, stuff like "I can't breathe," "I shouldn't be," even though I can't breathe, but I shouldn't be allowed to die, and stuff like, you know, like I have the right to live here just as much as you, or Black Lives
Yeah.
shirts like that, walking in the store, and it really shows that people are taking this seriously. Like,
even as much as the media is trying to delegitimize the way that things are going right now, like, Trump keeps calling them thugs and looters and lawless criminals, while people who went out to protest wearing a fucking mask were just claiming they were oppressed, and Donald Trump's like, free these people. You know, go fuck yourself, okay? But, like, my point is that I'm glad that even though people are trying to seriously delegitimize this, that it's not working as much anymore. And please understand that when someone says that a cop's job is dangerous, they're choosing that. They're choosing the job that they know they might not come home to their fucking family that night. Okay? And I understand that we need to protect people from dangerous situations, even if they are in a job like that. But understand that it's their choice. You get to take off your badge. You get to take off your gun and your uniform. Black people don't get to take off their skin. Okay?
that's deep, man.
Like, it's like...
But no, it's true, though. I want
Whoa.
to bring up a
I also want you to point out that in this country, you are innocent until proven guilty. The cop that arrests you, for whatever crime it may be, is not your judge, jury, or executioner. He just brings you to the court. That's all he's supposed to do.
I want to bring up a point too about that. I got a little bit of a long tangent, but I'm going to talk. I think the whole reason why this got out of control was because the officer, the chief of them, thought that the world wasn't going to do anything, and his mistake was he fired them. So when you fire a cop, that's basically saying, oh well, that cleans your record, you're a sponge from it, you can't be prosecuted. When they did that, that was the biggest mistake they could have ever done. He purposely did that because he probably thought no one is gonna say anything. It's just a black man who got killed, and you know, it's a pandemic. People weren't coming. And I remember when the protesters were starting, the news outlet kept screaming, well, coronavirus, it's gonna spread, it's gonna spread. And they talked to this one young black guy, and he brought up a good point. He said, you know what? The coronavirus is a scary virus, but you guys are working on a cure. You can't cure racism by just sitting at home and doing nothing. We have to get out and do something.
There's another irony too.
Yeah, you can't get a needle and give a injection or take a pill to get rid of racism. You have to go out there and stop it yourself physically. And I think that was really what rang it home for me, because like the news was just talking about, oh, these people need to go home, or these people need to stop doing this because they're spreading the virus among themselves. They're gonna get people sick. And I noticed lately the news, like when this first was starting out, they were really trying to hammer home more about the coronavirus than they already were. But when the looting started, oh, the news is like, oh, this is good juicy news we can talk about. But beneath all this, the real news was going on social media, Twitter, Instagram, all of them. Those people with their cameras showing the real people, showing the real looters weren't the protesters who weren't black people. There were probably some black, but they were mostly, people from out of town. They were out of towners coming in using this chaos as their chance. There was a footage of a guy, an older gentleman. He had a crossbow and he was trying to shoot it at people in the crowds.
You got prosecuted today.
Oh, good. And a bunch of young people, protesters, jumped him. He was trying to kill people. He was looking for this opportunity to kill people.
And the funny thing is, wasn't he touting about how all lives matter?
Something like that.
If all lives fucking matter, why are you trying to take them, you fucking dick?
And he got prosecuted, but he wasn't the only one they caught doing that either. There were other people who were trying to kill people among the protests. There were people trying to loot, people causing crimes, burning people's houses, being destructive, using the skies of black people. And you know why they would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for social media? If social media didn't exist, I guarantee you, the media would have said, oh, these black protesters are violent, when half of them weren't even black who were doing it. It was the white ones. It was the outsiders.
They are trying to say that.
They are trying to say that, especially the president. But the thing is, you have to understand that even though they're not specifically saying black looters, black people burning things, black lawlessness, the implication that these people protesting are thugs and looters, do you think the thing that comes into somebody's head when they hear that from a news source about the situation surrounding black lives, do you think they're going to think of a white person doing that? No, they only think that black people are outraged, and only because black people are outraged, that means they're the ones looting and setting things on fire. Like, no, motherfucker, that's not how it goes.
No. There's white people who are just as offended by it too, especially, let's say, if you're married to a black man, he's a good black man, you got kids, and you're afraid one day he might too end up getting his neck choked out. Speaking of, during a riot in New York, they showed it on the news, there is an officer, he had a young black man down on the ground in the same position as he had that one guy, and the officer had his knee on his neck. And the other officer who was with him told him that he screamed at him, get your knee off his neck. He can't breathe. He won't be able to breathe. The guy had his knee still on him, and he had to shove his fellow officer off him. It shows you just how ingrained that is into their mind. The fact that he didn't learn anything. This guy got up, took his shit, went to work and go like, I'm going to just do my job, and had his cause because of some idiot who was just going by the numbers and not thinking of the human condition. And if that officer didn't tell that other one to get off that one guy, we would have had another dead. There's another one. Like, their training needs to be changed. And the beauty of this is, it's all around the world. They have protests.
Yeah, apparently stuff's happening in Australia now too.
No, in other countries, European countries, because this is not an American problem. This is a whole racial problem.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I think people need to understand that even though America has its specific stereotype of being racist, like, you go around the world, you ask anybody, what are Americans? They're either going to say fat or racist, right? But you have to understand, America is literally built on a piece of land that they stole from another person that wasn't white, and then on top took people from their land over to their new land and had them build it for them. And then you also have to consider that Europe is not going to be not racist neither, because where did the people from America come from? They came from Europe.
They came from Europe because they're being persecuted over there, so they go over there to persecute people over there. It's just persecuting all.
So, even though America's own race relations are completely different than in, like, let's say Europe or Asia, it's still a problem in those countries too. Like, it's just different.
Yeah. You know.
Well, and I also just want to point out, because I know there's going to be some asshole out there that just says that if he's saying that he can't breathe, then he's breathing because in order to speak, you have to pass air through yourself. I want you to squeeze your neck just just enough so that you can feel the blood rushing to your head. But you have enough that you can get just a little bit of air in. And you sit there for 8 minutes and tell me if you can fucking breathe.
Speaking of, somebody in your chat was talking about this, and it's true. There are people out there trying to do the George. I don't even want to call it. It's not his challenge. I call it the ignorant challenge and disrespectful. People are putting their knees on their necks to see if they can breathe. And it's mostly young white kids that are doing it, and some older white people.
Yeah, I've seen that
There
shit
are
too.
rumors that, I'm not sure, but from what I heard, TikTok is slowly taking those, TikToks down, which is good to hear. If you see
Even
anybody
though
like
TikTok's
that,
hiding the Black Lives Matter hashtag, you guys should be aware of that as well.
They're doing
Yeah.
what?
They are hiding things tagged with Black Lives Matter and stuff. TikTok is not your ally just because they're taking away, videos of people choking themselves with their fucking knees.
They're just trying to hide everything.
Listen, all I'm saying is that even people who are into BDSM and choking as a fetish don't even hold their fucking necks that long, okay?
Yeah, because they
and
don't
if
die.
you're into that, we're not making fun of you, alright?
No, I'm
Just
not
the-
kink shaming. I'm not kink shaming.
But it's the people who are doing it to be racist, which I just find that as their kink, because now they can't even share their kinks without people putting them down.
I just want a bunch of people who are into receiving pain in terms of BDSM culture. I want them to be on the front line, running at the cops, shooting rubber bullets, and screaming "Harder, Daddy!"
Yeah, I saw that post. That was good.
I actually been, another good thing that's sadly coming out of this is more people are now major corporations are, showing their appreciation towards it, because you gotta understand I don't think any company out there goes outside from Chick-fil-A that goes I don't want a certain demographic of people not to give me their money. I want money from everybody. I want all your money. Give me your money. And I'm very happy to hear so many different mediums going through this. I don't know if the NFL or NBA have
Oh
done
my
anything.
god, the NFL did release a statement saying that they support their black lives, and I was just like, okay, then give Colin Kaepernick a fucking job.
Oh no, they're not. Okay, they support it, but they're not that supportive. All right, they're like that grandma where you go and tell your grandma you're gay, and she's like, well, it's like when your grandma and you tell her, hey grandma, I'm gay, and she's like, oh, well, you're still my favorite grandson, grandma. Will you give me a hug? She said, oh, no, thank you. I'll just, blow you a kiss from over here, and she stopped giving you hugs. But she still loves you, but she doesn't love you enough now to, continue touching you, because she's afraid she might catch the gay or something. That's what the NFL is. It's like that grandma that goes we love Black Lives, but that one guy who took a knee, and if you took a knee, fuck you still.
I just get mad because people are just I don't see color, and I'm not racist, but you shouldn't protest this way. And then they go and take a knee, and they're just like, you can't protest that way neither. And then you go, okay, then we'll just cut off traffic. And they're like, you can't protest that way either. It's just there's no right way to protest, because you have to understand that in order to protest, something has to be not accepted. And not, protesting is literally you rebelling against something that's already established as okay. Protesting is to piss people off to get your point across. There's no right way to do it. Although, I must say, please don't steal, and please don't set things on fire, but I do understand the people that do, because rioting is the language of the unheard, as said by Martin Luther King Jr. So, you can't be mad at people starting fucking riots when they have asked for years and years and years and years, peacefully and nicely, for you to do something about it, and you say, yeah, it's not really that big of an issue. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to just, sweep this under the rug. And then
We'll get to you tomorrow morning.
it's I want you to call customer support and you ask them for something and have them tell you no, but you need it done because it's literally let's say you get fucking identity theft and you call a credit card company for them to help you. and you say, can you please fix this? And they say, yeah, we'll fix it, and then they don't do nothing about it. What are you gonna eventually do? You're gonna eventually get very fucking pissed off and start, like, yelling at them, okay?
I'm gonna leave them bad reviews on Yelp. And use colorful language. That'll teach you.
No, but, like, eventually, like, when people, even in your presence, when they start giving you enough shit and they don't listen, you kind of want to hit them. Let's
Guys,
say
listen.
you ask somebody for something and you're in front of them, right? And they give you this fucking nasty smug grin, and they look down on you and they don't do shit. What are you gonna do? Don't you have the urge to slap the shit out of them in front of you? Like, no matter what.
Sounds like one of my coworkers who drives a trolley, gives you the shit grin, and he's like, I honestly think he's gonna one day kill me because he's gonna run over and then he's gonna probably back up and then run me over again and then continue going to work. But anyway, this is definitely the decade of protests. Like, last couple of years has been all about the LGBT community, and it's all about them. And this could finally be the step that African Americans have been waiting for, where it's the decade where the world start treating us kind of like with respect. Because you can't deny it, the LGBT community is like untouchable when it comes to social media. You can say one thing, and if you say like, oh, but I'm gay, they'll go like, oh, are you actually? Yeah, I am. They're like, oh, you're so innocent. Everybody picks on you. We protect you, even if you're lying. You know, I don't want to get to that point, but sadly it will, because, you know, the internet's full of fucking lies. But it seems like the lower class is trying to rise up, which, well, I shouldn't say lower class. The class that kind of gets always shitted on. You know, LGB has gotten shit on. But when they start making makeup, doing stuff that people like, that normals use, oh, we love LGBT community. Oh, they make music, they give us makeup, they're millionaires. Oh my god, they're so great. You don't like them? You don't respect the gays? We will cancel culture you. And it's sad. It's sad it took this long, you know? And maybe this is the time where people start looking at black people and go like, oh, you know what? You're not just here to be a monkey in front of me. You can, you know, you're a person. You're a human being. Let's treat you with respect. But only time will tell, you know. Hopefully this isn't a fad like it always ends up being. You know, I would like it to get to the point where it's like, you know, how the LGBT community got, you know. And that's one thing I have to say I respect them for. They never stopped. They kept going hard for their justice. And look at them. When this month come around, when Gay Pride Month comes, people, social media acknowledge it's going like, oh, this is me. Here's our rainbow caps. We don't know what any of the flags, but we got a rainbow fucking cap, so we're part of it. Oh, we donated, except Chick-fil-A. We love you guys.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel. Like most of the companies, they probably do. There probably are some people who love them and care about their LGBT community, and there's a lot of them who don't care. But I would like to see that same energy that goes into, you know, how people Pride Month to go into Black History Month. I can't tell you this. I always hated Black History Month. It's the shortest fucking day of the year. It's fucking in February, the month that nobody likes. It's the day, it's like you're 2 months in from Christmas, so nobody really likes it. It's the beginning of the year. It's fucking cold. Black people, listen, when I was younger, I liked the cold because, you know, as a stupid kid, wintertime was great because you didn't go to school. As an adult, no black people really like the cold. No, there's no black people who like the wintertime. Alright? Why can't we have Black History Month when it's nice and sunny? But
why do we need to have a Black History Month specifically? Like, why can't we make it every day of the year like we do with white people? And I understand, like, we should take the time to, like, specifically put the spotlight on them. But don't just stop in February.
Well, it's kind of the same thing. Like, why do we really need an LGBTQ month or a women's month? Apparently, I keep forgetting that. It's just a thing that
A month is a day.
Shine a light on it for a minute.
Yeah, but I mean, think about it. I can kind of understand what you're saying, but if that's the case, that's the same thing too. Like, do we really need a month to recognize gay people?
Yeah. Like,
That's what somebody from Chick-fil-A will say.
It's just that I wish that even though we have these months specifically highlighting them, that we don't stop on those months. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the same thing you can say too for like Hispanic month. Do we or day? I guess Cinco de Mayo. What do people know about Cinco de Mayo? Oh, I'm supposed to eat tacos and drink tequila.
What are you, Donald Trump, eating your fucking taco bowl on Cinco de Mayo?
I know it was supposed to be like celebrating.
It's celebrating the independence of like Mexico or something like
Yeah,
that.
but think about it. In America, why the fuck are we celebrating the freedom of Mexico? We want them to go back to Mexico. We can care shit less about what happens to Mexico. We're fucking America, according to Trump. Fuck everything that isn't us. You eat those tacos and you go to Chick-fil-A. No, wait, Chipotle or Taco Bell. That's Mexican cuisine, right?
And it's not even real Mexican food.
No, I know it's not, but how many people you were to go on the street and ask them, what's your favorite Mexican restaurant? I bet you most of them will freaking say
Hello?
either
Hello?
Chipotle
Hello?
or
Hello?
freaking Taco Bell.
Guys, something's
happened?
happening to my game. Something's happening to my game.
What is happening to your game? I'm watching you play.
Help. Help.
Whoa! Oh, you're in
Oh.
the first. What is happening? Join the dark side. Missing the.
What's happening? Hello?
I know this is a very
Hello?
serious moment right now, but like,
Hello?
Sonic?
Okay, everything's okay again.
why is
Jeez.
it black? What the fuck is going
I
on?
think it's because I did my tornado at the exact moment they did their team blast.
What is this I'm looking at? Oh, that's great.
Mobian, have you been playing Dark Story mode this whole time?
I told you to start the next level.
Oops. I was too busy.
Didn't you hear me say we're talking about black people and you guys are playing Team Dark? Oh
I
yeah,
was playing Team Sonic.
Oh yeah, speaking of, okay, so I might not say this joke right, but I remember in college,
Are you sure this is the right
Moby remembers this guy. We had a friend named Arturo,
Yeah.
and he said it's something like, I like Sonic, right? I was drawing Sonic in class, and he was like, you like Sonic? He said, isn't Shadow like a crappy version of Sonic or something like that? Isn't he supposed to be the black one, you know, with the gun? I was like, and I remember looking, I didn't even look at him. I just honestly said, well, I don't know what led up to this discussion, but at the end of the comment, I said, well, if Shadow's supposed to be a black one, that's like me saying like all Hispanics should go outside and mow my lawn and wear a sombrero. And I didn't realize I said that until I looked at his face, and he was like, that is so mean. I was like, well, you said Shadow's the black one.
I wasn't there when you said it, but I heard about it as soon as you guys got back from class.
Because everybody started.
That's when somebody said you were the most racist black person they ever met.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, well.
The upside down pencil is flipped right side up.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
It
Of course,
was-
Michael was laughing in the background.
I remembered you saying something like you asked him where's his lawnmower.
Yeah, I think I said something like that. Because he said something about that.
Cause he asked where somebody's gun was.
Yeah, he asked, yeah, because he said, Shadow, where's his gun at? Because ain't he supposed to be black or something? Yeah, that's how it went. And I said, then where's your lawnmower and your sombrero? He looked at me, and I
Gosh,
was
it's so
like,
bad.
and then, I mean, I said it, like, the way I said it is, like, you know how I just say things? I just said it so coldly, and I wasn't even looking at his face until after I said that. And I was like, "Oh shit, you."
Oh my god.
And after I said that, he became my friend.
It's just like in the Sonic verse universe, you have to antagonize people first to become their friends.
Yes. See, that's why I love Sonic. He taught me that if you be mean to people, they'll become your friends. And Naruto told me you gotta aggressively be annoying them, and they'll stay your friends.
Right? You gotta manipulate them into being your friend.
Yeah, Sasuke.
And if they don't want to be if they don't want to be your friend, you beat the shit out of them until they say yes.
Yeah. Listen, Sasuke, you are my friend, and you're gonna fucking be my friend.
And you're gonna suck my dick, and I don't give a shit.
Oh my
Your
gosh.
feelings and your needs are useless compared to my need for you to be my friend and live in my village, and I see you every day. I don't care. Your family's dead. Get over it. I'm over it.
Oh.
I'm over that they're dead.
I like that no matter what,
Been in the village so we can still be friends.
no matter what kind of stream we have, doesn't matter what kind of stream it is, how serious or how not serious, it always ends up with us talking about Naruto.
See, Naruto's evil. It brings you back to full circle.
Oh, and God forbid if you use a white person like who look like Naruto on Tumblr.
Oh, fun fact. I don't know if you guys know this, but so there's like 3 series now that I know that black people love. It's Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, and now it's My Hero. And it is in the cosplay community. There's quite a lot of black cosplay as these characters, but when they're in other fandoms and they try to cosplay, they get harassed for it.
It's weird.
And I know the creator of Naruto. He spent like a long time trying to make the what's the tribe of Killer Bees from?
The
Hidden Cloud.
Yeah, because he wanted to make a region for African Americans because
I mean, but like not everyone in the Hidden Cloud is black, but like
but a
most
majority of them is.
Yeah.
Like the largest group of them, and he wanted a character that was a different ethnicity, and he said it himself that he liked it. He liked the African Americans, and that's what made me really like Naruto even more. About that, I mean, Dragon Ball Z, the one guy admitted he don't know how to draw black people, and I was like, I mean, I ain't gonna. Toriyama can't draw a lot of things. I mean,
it's okay. All he has to do is just make them green, and people will consider them a black person, apparently.
Well, yeah, that's what everybody says. Piccolo's a black. I mean, he can't draw women. He's been trying to, and he said he doesn't draw black people because he doesn't think he's good enough to draw them. At least he's honest, because he used to draw them. You know how they used to do them back in the day. Those fucking cheats.
I know what you're talking about. I know the character.
But I don't hold that against him because he brought up Japan thought that they saw Americans draw black people like that, and that's what they thought black people looked like.
That's upsetting on Americans' end. Like, saying,
I mean,
your racism spread to another fucking country. Good job.
I mean, I have a few Looney Tunes DVDs that have like a few races. Like, there's this one with Daffy Duck and had these black people in it.
Yeah.
And there's back in the day too when they used to do that a lot. 40s and 50s. It was fun to make fun of races, and now it's not as fun. Yeah, they did that a lot to Native Americans too, but
Even in that freaking the Last of the Dodos cartoon we've been talking about a lot lately.
Yeah, that one's really bad.
They had some racist shit in there too. It was like, wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like there was a cartoon with Snow White and something. She was white and all the dwarves were black though.
Ooh.
But they were. I forgot. I think it's called. I can't remember. It was based off of, but it has a racist name to it though.
Who made that?
I think it was Warner Brothers. Yeah. Yeah, but a lot of those shows were like that, and it's kind of sad. But I have to say, I'm glad in recent media more and more black cartoons are coming out. I remember like the big black cartoon when I was a kid was like, it was like this kid, black kid. Then there was Wayne Head, and then there was fucking that weird creepy show from Little Bill.
I know Static Shock was a really popular one.
I remember Static Shock.
Yeah, Static Shock was pretty good. That was good. That was pretty big. What Fat Albert's chunky ass. And now there's been more and more. I know there's a show now on Cartoon Network that I heard a lot of people say was pretty good. And but they're just like slowly getting more and more, and so is Western art. I mean, like not Western, but Asian, like Pokemon. Like I think the first black character in Pokemon, not counting what's her name, Laura from Black and White. It was the Frontier Master from.
What about Brock?
I was about to say, what about
Brock's not
Brock?
black. Brock's not black.
He's not.
No, he's not. He's not. A lot of people used to think he was, but he's not considered black. I think he's some other type of race. But officially, one of the Frontier Masters in, I believe, Platinum, there is somebody who is African American. And she becomes... No, wait, no. The one girl, she was with the same girl with the... You know the gym leader, the Elite Four member who had a butler, and she has like a weird top hat.
And I don't barely remember Sinnoh.
She's psychic. Well, she's from that game before. I think her name, whatever the hell her name is, Ancient Mama. I call her.
Oh my god.
She looks like fucking Ancient Mama.
Wait, are you talking about the 5th gen fossil gym leader lady?
The normal type. She has a normal type. In 5th gen.
In 5th gen.
She's the official first black gym leader.
I think you're talking about the same one I'm thinking about, where I recently saw a thing about how she was, they modified her design for the English version because she was like a racist caricature in the Japanese version, like the whole like motherly stereotype.
Yeah.
She had like an apron and all this other stuff, and they had changed it for the Western release because it was crappy.
Yeah. What is her name?
I don't remember her name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yes. Yes.
She had like she was a normal gym leader, but she was in like the museum or something.
Yeah.
There's someone there.
Yeah, her. I see her original design when she had the apron, which was fucking stupid. Then they gave her a cape. I think in the game, and I think in the original game, she actually does have an apron, because I don't remember her taking the apron off. Here's her without the apron.
In the Western version, she wears it like tied around her waist, like somehow, like how some kids do with their hoodies and jackets and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I actually didn't even know about that stereotype until I saw that. I'm like ignorant to a lot of stereotypes for some reason.
Well, I just know when I first saw her, I was like, oh look, there's fucking Ancient Mama in my Pokemon here. Is that a fucking? I hope she has a Pokemon that looks like fucking Flapjack, so I can blur her fucking brains out on it.
God, Queen.
Wait, who? What? Pokemon that looks like Flapjack?
Yeah, I wish she did, because she looks like fucking Ancient Mama. Like the pancakes.
What Pokemon looks like a Flapjack?
No, I was joking. I was saying I hope she has a Pokemon that looks like pancakes.
Oh.
So I can splurge her brains on it. And that's probably why they got rid of her.
You
because they
Novan-
realized, oh,
Unovan Stunfisk.
I mean, she had a pretty shitty team anyway.
It makes sense much more.
Sonic says brush your teeth. That's not... Did I not finish out the title of the stream? Whoops.
What?
I think I was gonna put the stream's title as Sonic Says Black Lives Matter since I wanted to do that serious talk at the time.
Yeah.
And I think I just put Sonic Says.
Hey guys, Sonic here, telling you that if you meet anyone who makes fun of you for your skin color or your beliefs, they're no good. Go, get some help, and talk to them and tell about it. Oh yeah, and throw that stupid motherfucker in the dryer and watch them burn.
Oh my gosh, did you... Queen Pen, did you see that guy on Twitter who, like, yelled at me for drawing Sonic with a pride flag and also called Kayla racist?
Dude, he called me autistic and racist, and I was like, I didn't even say anything.
Well, you are racist because you have anybody who is open-minded is clearly a racist. Did you should have told him Black Lives Matter.
My problem with this person, my biggest fucking problem with this person, is not calling me racist. I know I'm not racist. I don't need you to tell me whether I'm racist or not. First of all, because you're just some fucking loser on the internet being angry about politics 24/7. And I understand you have that right to be angry, but you don't have the right to go up to a random person trying to relieve the stress that is going on in this country right now and make people happy. And the drawing that you're criticizing isn't just for that specific minority. It's like, what bothers me is they had the nerve to use the word autism as a slur to me.
Not a
And-
slur, but...
Well, it's not a slur, but the way they had used it was
When
in
you
a
use-
way.
Yeah, when you use it as an insult, it is a slur. It's
Yeah.
like, I mean, what are you fucking retarded? That's a slur.
Don't say that. That's very bad.
Okay, but
Yeah,
I
that's
was
the
just
thing.
telling Mobian yesterday.
That's what it is. That's a slur.
I
Saying
was
that
just telling
like that.
Mobian yesterday that I honestly feel that when you use the word autism or autistic to insult somebody, I personally think that's worse than using the R word, because at least before the R word was classified as a slur and classified as a mental or like, you know, a disability, it had a definition of meaning slow or like, you know, fire retardant and stuff like that. So it's like,
Well, that's spelled different too, though.
yeah, but like at least the R word had a meaning outside of the offenses that it had or the disability that it described. Whereas autistic doesn't have a meaning outside of the mental disability, you know what I mean? Like, so you're just straight up just insulting someone's mental disorder. Like, it's crazy.
This is my question. The person who got angry. Like, I would have asked him, so do you go around looking up every Sonic picture and go around having a hissy fit? Is Sonic your husband? Are you married to him? Last time I checked, Sega owned him, and they don't give two flying rats ass with anybody does Sonic now. I mean, look at all the shit Sonic been through.
No,
Sonic has
but, like,
done everything. He
they
is...
said they were like their original comment to Mobian was, I don't want any character displaying LGBT like pride because these companies, like, I don't fucking remember what they said, but
They were
they're
like,
literal-
I don't want this. And I was
Yeah,
like,
basically,
okay,
it
or
was
you're
just
not my
something they didn't
mom.
like. They're like,
I was
I don't
thinking-
want this, therefore you gotta listen. Like, no, motherfucker, it's not how it works.
So
They got
don't
mad
want-
at me for having a positive outlook on a character that didn't support LGBT rights, and I was like, have you not even, like, seen what Sega had to say about it last year?
And then you sent it, and they're just like, this doesn't mean anything because it's a brand promoting this. And I'm like,
And then I would have said this. I would say, well then, how about you bring your ass on out of here? And then I would have just blocked them.
I did block him, but Kayla kept instigating.
no,
Because
dude, it was
Kayla,
fine.
for
Okay.
some reason, lives on that kind of drama.
Listen, I have been very quiet on the internet for like a fucking while. Okay, I haven't argued with anyone in months.
She said,
And
it's that
I'm not
time.
gonna lie, the second they gave me the opportunity, it was just like all this anger that was like inside of me. I was just like, outlet, let's go. Like,
You were harassing that Naruto person too, though,
Naruto person.
on Facebook.
He was being a creep to me, and I just gave him a taste of his own medicine.
Yeah, but you said you haven't been doing that shit on the internet lately. I'm like, yes, you absolutely have.
Arguing with someone on the internet is completely different than leading them on and then creeping them out.
What did you send him pictures of Conan's uncut toes?
No, I'll explain what I did. So this guy, I'm in this Naruto fan page that like the admin that owns the page had invited me to, and they share artwork, and I kind of fucking hate it in there because it's just a bunch of like fanboys like circle jerking who's the strongest fucking character, but like,
We already know he's the strongest.
no, they will argue you about this. They'll say it's Itachi, they'll say it's Madara, and it's just like, guys, it's obviously the main fucking character, but like, go off, I guess. But like, no, this guy messages me, and like, I don't want to bring this up, but like, there is a stereotype about it, and I know not everyone's like this, but like, you know that stereotype with the really creepy, like, Middle Eastern and Southern Asian dudes on Facebook messaging you, being like, let me see Bob's vagine.
Oh my gosh.
I would honestly, you know, whenever I hear that, I would just send them a picture of some jeans. Cause I had a friend that said somebody sent them that, and they're like, I couldn't understand what they were trying to say or what they were trying to type, so I sent them a pair of my jeans.
No, but like, I understood what he was saying, but like, he would pester me that he's like, I want to have sex with you. I want, like, come here, like I guess role playing stuff or something. I'm like, no, and I would just give him like really flat answers, and then like, I tried telling him that I was gay, and he goes, oh. And then a few minutes later, he's like, send me a picture of your body, and I'm like, why? And he's like, because I'm fire. So I guess he was trying to say he's hot, and then he sent me like this audio clip of him whispering into his phone, and I started losing my goddamn shit.
Okay, I would have trolled him.
Wait, I'm not done yet.
It's a good thing I don't know this person.
No, but like, listen, I'm not done. That's not the worst I did yet. So I was like, do you really, want to you really don't want to see me, right? He's like, yes I do. So I fucking went to Pornhub and I found like videos of like a trans woman so that she, like, she has a dick. Jerking off, and I clipped it so that you couldn't see her face. You couldn't see her face, but it had the same hair color as me, and I sent it to him. Like, she had like her tits and dick out, like, and then he fucking blocked me instantly.
Oh my god.
But he would say he was hot though.
Nah,
But that's not the hot he is.
I don't fucking know.
Alright.
I'll take it from here.
But
You all ready?
Oh my god,
You
Caleb.
know, I'm proud of you.
if you want to know the level of petty I am, I literally downloaded fucking porn on my phone, okay?
I will do this for you. I would have said, aren't you still hot? Hot no more?
No, dude, let me tell you about this other guy that, like, messaged me. Like, he kept sending me friend requests on Facebook, and I'm like, it says that we went to the same school together, but I don't remember this person. Like, I don't know who this is. Like, I don't... But, like, he had, like, a bunch of mutual friends that I had, and went to the same school as me, so I'm like, I guess? I deleted it first, and he sends another one. So, I'm like, you know what? People who send another friend request after you delete the first one are usually just horny fucking bastards, right? So I was like, okay, let me see this. I know exactly what's gonna happen, but let me see, right? So I accept it, and he starts talking to me, and this motherfucker, this white boy, can't even fucking hold a goddamn conversation, and it's like, it was like so boring, and like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it had no substance at all. It was like so boring and disinteresting, and then like, I was sick around this time, so when he messages me like, "What you do all day?" and I'm like, "Oh, I laid in bed all day because I'm sick." And he's like, "Haha, I wish I could have been there with you." And I was like, "No, you didn't. I'm sick, remember? And by the way, there wouldn't be enough room on the bed between you and my boyfriend." And he fucking immediately like he went silent. I love it, dude.
It's nice to be nice to people online.
Is that what we're doing?
I'll be nice to you online, but like the second you start acting like an asshole, I'm gonna let it out.
Danger.
I like talking to you. You're always mean to me.
What?
You know, that's why whenever I hear petty people be online, like getting upset about Sonic holding a fucking gay flag, you know, I think that's hilarious.
Also, I just want to let you know that that person was so counterproductive to their own movement. Like, I like how it went from, "I don't like this," because they literally just said, "I don't want this." And I'm just like, first of all, she didn't ask your opinion. Second of all, if you don't want it, just don't fucking comment. And then they're like, "Oh, you..." Like, they start arguing with me, and I'm like, the fuck? Like, your original comment had no substance to the movement that you're causing. They're like, "Fuck you! You're like, there are people dying in the street right now, and you're taking away from our movement by bringing light to this." And I'm just like, just because you bring light to one minority group doesn't mean you can't bring light to the other one! And then they were saying that white people are all racist and terrible, and like...
Wait, hold on. Did you even ask, I would say, I would have asked, like, are you white? And if they say yeah...
No, their bio said that they were black.
Well, I would have said, well, first of all, I'm Portuguese.
Portuguese people are white! They did terrible things to black people.
Oh yeah, shit, you can't use that. Well, you'll have to say that you're talking Hispanic. And you say, first of all, you're racist for assuming my race.
No, it doesn't help because on their Twitter profile, they were reblogging things that were just like anti-Jew and like, if you were anything other than Black Lives Matter, you were like the enemy.
Yeah, they had a lot of anti-Semitic stuff on there.
Oh,
Yeah.
so they're racist. So they're truly racist. They're even worse. My sister's trying to look for their comments.
Oh, I'll just link it to you. I got it.
It was something. Obviously, I'm still thinking about it now, so... I was like, wow. What?
No, but like, okay. I just want to bring light to the issue where they called me autistic recently. I mean, obviously not recently. But, do they understand that autism is not a disease, but like a disability that only affects white people? Like,
That
autism
wasn't... I'm like
amongst black
90%
people?
sure they were trying to say that you were stupid.
Yeah, but like using the word autism to call somebody stupid is very insulting and counterproductive to like what you're doing, because like autistic people are far from, some of them do have low IQs, that is true, but a lot of them can excel in certain things like beyond people's comprehension, like, and there are black people in history that were autistic and have done amazing things.
I don't think that's what they were trying to say, though. They were just
I
trying
know,
to
but
insult
the
you.
They were
point
just
is-
trying to be, they basically were telling you, calling you slow.
In
But I
a
would've
very
just said,
shallow
yeah.
way.
I
Yeah,
would've just
they were
said-
calling me stupid, but the point is, to use the term autistic to mean stupid means not only are you insulting white people assuming that they're autistic, but like, black people are also autistic, and you have to understand that if you really want to bring light to people who are black, you have to understand that people who are autistic and black get treated even worse.
Alright, hear
because-
about this. How about this? I'm gonna say this. To the idiot who left that message, you are truly the definition of racism. Alright? I'm gonna say this. You can't go around spurring out Black Lives Matter and at the same time go around demanding people to care about black people when you go around not caring about other races. Why should anybody respect you if you don't respect anybody else? That's my thing.
why should anybody respect your ideas?
Anytime.
I think we're getting a little bit too deep. I'm pretty sure they were just a freaking troll on the internet.
I know,
Well,
but
no,
like,
I'm
the
just
thing
saying
is,
this.
you
I know, but
can't.
I'm just saying this. If you were being a troll, you did a really bad job.
And not
alright?
just that, but like your trolling is harming your cause, okay? And like, I just want to talk about.
I mean, I don't really care. I mean, you could draw a picture of Sonic sucking Shadow's dick. I would, not look at it, but you have the right to. And if that
Yeah.
bothers you, then, well, just go past the picture. You can all the horrible things I've seen on DeviantArt and Furfin and people dealing with Sonic. Freaking creepy pictures with cream.
Oh god.
But I've
Wow,
seen
I'm
it.
dying left and right here. But
But that is, you're on the internet. Baby's gonna have to get over it. Baby's gonna have to stop looking at it. If you don't want to look at it, put safe search on. Don't look at it,
Like,
little bitch.
the thing that was baffling to me about it was that they were self-centered about it. They were like, I don't want this, why did you do it? It's like, because you're not my mom. And I don't know even how they found my post, because I didn't tag it or anything, but they found it immediately.
Thing is too, some of these black people are taking this thing thinking they can run with it, just like the LGBTQ community did the same thing, thinking like, oh, I'm gay, I can get to run away with it. There's gonna be people like this, trying to run away with it.
Aren't they?
And the sad truth is, these people, those are the people who never had power in their life. You give them an inch and they run a mile with it, and because of that, they're gonna ruin it for others later on.
and it's like, don't attack your allies. Just don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't care if your ally is not of your race or anything. You need all the help you can get. More voices equals more change. It doesn't matter whether they truly understand your struggle or not. You're like, if they are giving you the empathy that you want from them, and then you give them shit for the empathy that you're demanding, like, I don't understand.
Yeah. My thing is, I don't like it when there's like, if you don't like black lives, all other lives don't matter. No, all other lives matter. It's just right now we're trying to help.
Right now,
The
people are
Black
making
Lives
it
Matter
obvious
right now-
that they don't think Black Lives Matter, so we need to bring light to the fact that Black lives do matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they say all lives matter, it's just so that they could like, it's kind of like a way of keeping racism in place by like downplaying it. I know some people don't realize that's what it does, but you can't like, and let me just tell you something. When Jesus was on the Sermon on the Mount, and he said, blessed are the poor. Would these fucking Karens nowadays go up to Jesus Christ and be like, actually, blessed are the tax collectors too? Like,
Wait, what?
Jesus, I said when Jesus was giving the Sermon on the Mount, and he said, blessed are the poor. Would some fucking Karen from like today's day and age be like, Jesus, actually, blessed are the tax collectors too, and blessed are all lives? Like, do you understand? Like, that's how stupid you fucking sound.
I died and then stood back up, and then it restarted the level.
I wanna see that darkness happen again. I like seeing you go to the Shadow Realm.
I think it was because I used my tornado at the same time they used Team Blast, dude.
Aww.
Cause
Go back to the Shadow Realm.
it happened right when I did that.
Yeah, but FY. Oh. Oh.
Wait, what's happening right now?
I don't know.
So there's a conspiracy going on at the officer that they caught
that they're charging with it may not be the one who actually committed the crime. They think they might have put him into hiding or hiding him somewhere so the public can't get to him.
Wait, the one who killed George?
Yeah, because they claim they arrested the officer, but they
Destroy the robots and the case will open.
they
Use the item inside to get Eggman.
a lot of people are looking at his photos saying like his hair is different, his face looks a little bit weird, and it's only been a couple of days. It hasn't been very long, and they're like saying that this could be another person that they could have that looks kind of like him.
Smash them all.
I don't know. I mean,
There's all these moms going around yelling at their kids for being supportive of Black Lives Matter.
I saw that. They're like, you're not gonna change anything. Like, alright,
Changes
Karen,
are
you
already
sit on your
starting.
ass.
This one lady just said, like, what's wrong with you? What are you doing? You're being brainwashed. And the other girl, she was crying, like, so disappointed in her mom. And she was just like, I can't believe you're doing this. And she was like, you can't do anything. There's nothing you can do. What does this got to do with you? It's terrible.
Yeah, I think that's the one I saw.
This lady, she crazy.
but yeah, there's a lot of people like that.
KWA Karens.
I just want to point out that can a racist, like a really racist Karen, be called Ku Klux Karen? Like KKK?
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Might as well.
It's an NWA, it's KWA. It's so funny. What happens if your name's Karen and you're like the sweetest person ever? Not bad.
I know, but like, you gotta understand, man.
Karen is that name.
I fell off the fucking ledge. Welcome to the Screaming 20s. The virus is still out there claiming lives, and now America unleashes its hypocrite people. May
Huh?
this country enter the infernal hellfire of heck. Wait, Mordecai, what do you mean by that?
Wait, what? Huh?
Who's the hypocrite? I don't know, I'm reading a comment that you got.
The hypocrite, huh?
Better be the cops that you're talking about there.
The hypocrisy is the government acting like, oh, we
And the
gotta
white
save the
people.
economy. We can't be quarantining right now. I don't care if people are gonna die. And then
Remember,
then
like
people
last month
protest.
when they wanted to like sacrifice grandma for the economy, but now all lives suddenly matter.
Yeah, all lives suddenly matter when people are
Even
protesting
grandma.
for lives mattering because
Even the grandma you had on the fucking altar, ready to stab her heart out and sacrifice to the economy.
Granny.
we don't care if grandma dies from COVID, but we can't let people protest human rights.
Yep. Hey, listen, alright? We were supposed to open up at Easter, and then those stupid, dumb CBC told me I couldn't do it because I have to care about the public. Alright, I can only care so much, guys. I want to go on my vacation.
Also, please do remember that according to the President of the United States, that the people protesting so that they can reopen the economy are very fine people who don't deserve to be oppressed. But, God forbid you kill a black man. when
Yeah, the people
people are
walking
angry.
around with guns being threatening because they couldn't go out and get their haircuts
They
and
were
go to the
pushing
gym.
the police, and the police were doing nothing. And now if you look on fucking Twitter, you got fucking videos of people just riding their bikes past police cars, and the police getting out of the fucking police cars and slamming them on the ground for no reason.
I hate bikers, alright? They're always getting in their way while they're... Fuck those bikers.
They were in the bike lane.
Yeah, bitch shouldn't be in the bike lane when I'm driving. I'm trying to get to Buskins. I need that fucking donut. Fuck. I don't care about your fitness. Susie, you're never gonna lose that fat on your thighs. You bitch.
Oh my god, I'm offended.
You're gonna be fat for the rest of your life.
Kayla's like, I'm
So
offended.
anyway, like I was saying,
Yeah?
I want. I kind of stopped for a second. But yeah, the whole this economy thing. Like I said, 2020 is definitely the decade to. My mom said it best, and I think one of our people from our church said it too. 2020 is the decade that God wanted the world to realize that at any moment he can change the rules, and that the people in power are gonna get out of power. I mean, look at all the celebrities and like TV stars that aren't doing anything. They can't do anything. Look at Disney. The company's in shambles because it can't, make you spend $80 on a book bag that's about the size of a Polly Pocket toy.
I mean,
have you seen those Disney bags?
no, I am not. What I was gonna say though is, how about instead of 2020 being the time of change, what if the seals of the Revelation have been opened?
Oh God.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
The Book of Revelations is the book in which the apocalypse happens, and there are seals. I think 13 seals that have to be opened for the end of the world to come, and Jesus opens up like the 4 of them, and then those are like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, which would be wrath, pestilence. What are the other 2? One of those. It's pestilence.
What's that wrath? Wrath is a normal thing. Isn't wrath technically? Oh yeah, pestilence is corona.
Yeah, so pestilence is corona. The other one I believe is famine, death, and then there's an argument on whether it's war or conquest. But to me, war and conquest are kind of the same thing.
Yeah, they are. I mean, one leads to the other.
I mean, you can't have conquest without war.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all the natural disasters that are happening. And then they said that you'll hear trumpets when the rapture happens. And then, I'm sorry, but Donald Trump and Mike Pence's names sound like trumpets.
Oh boy.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. Conspiracy theory time.
That's a little bit scary. That's a little bit scary to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, everything happening now is pretty scary, but...
You know what? If the end comes, I don't give a shit anymore.
I mean, if it's meant to happen, then it'll happen.
Donald Trump is secretly the Antichrist like they called Obama.
Someone said the smart will survive.
Everybody hated Obama, and now everybody's like, "Where's Obama?"
And Obama wasn't even a great president.
Oh yeah, my sister said she saw somebody with a shirt that was like a wanted, like a lost sign. Like it's one of those, have you seen this person shirts?
Yeah.
But it was for Obama. Oh, okay.
I mean, like, I don't personally like some of Obama's policies because obviously some of them were also oppressive. I mean, just ask the little boy that that testified in court about how he likes rainy days because on rainy days the drones don't come and drop bombs.
Well,
I mean, Obama was the one that sent the drones out to the war, but I mean, by far, Obama still is 1,000 times better than this shit-ass president.
he's an actual politician that actually knows.
I think he actually genuinely tried.
I think so too, but I think because of the way that America's politics
Oh yeah,
work.
Congress was heavily against. He was getting by Congress. He wanted to do so many more bills, but they wouldn't let him have it because he's just a black man. But Congress is like, oh shit, Trump, what the fuck he's talking? Even the Republicans don't really claim it. Fun fact, Donald Trump was going to be a Democrat. Actually, Donald Trump is...
He said he wanted to run Democrat because he thought he would win.
Well, somehow he freaking won anyway.
Well, he won because of, you know, he cheated, and on top of that, nobody fucking voted.
I keep losing at the very end.
Mobian, what level are you on? Because I'm still on the rainforest.
I'm fighting the boss on the after the spooky level.
Oh, gee, you know what? I'm not doing that tonight.
I don't think I'm gonna beat it.
You can beat it, I believe in you. You're playing Knuckles. My Knuckles.
Knock, knock, Knuckles.
Knock knock, it's Knuckles.
Would you consider Knuckles like a black?
Before Sega revealed their newest Sonic game.
I don't know if they're going to now with all the stuff that's going on.
Would you consider Knuckles black?
He's Mayan.
Is he Mayan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Because I just know the whole dreadlock thing. I didn't know if people considered him black plus the rap music.
Well, he's supposed
just
to be
didn't-
like the urban. I wouldn't say the black one. He's supposed to be urban.
Oh, okay. Which is weird considering he lives alone on a fucking island.
Well, yeah, but his thing is all based off of Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck? You know what? I'm glad that we've been having this conversation because the amount of times that I would have fucking yelled already are outstanding.
I was gonna say, that, like, I know we get together every Friday and Monday and we try to have a good time and play some video games, but I felt like the stuff that's been going on was really worth talking about. And, you know, I know everybody is stressed out about it, including myself, and...
This year has definitely been a year of testing. Like, I think it's the worst year. Like, this is a year where nobody can honestly say this is the best year of their life, unless you had a kid, maybe. And even then, it'd be stressful. Like, it's funny because last year was a horrible year for me and my family, financially and, you know, spiritually and emotionally. And even though this year is, you know, because we were almost going to be home.
Oh gosh.
This year, it's been awful. I had fucking so many panic attacks going to work at my effing job because of those morons. But I thought about it. It made me think, like, you know, I'm very blessed to have my friends and family, people I can talk to. There's people out there who don't even have that. Like, they're just alone, by themselves. That's
Yeah,
it.
I'm grateful for my friends because I don't really have anybody but friends at this point.
Yeah. And it's really scary when you think about, you know, at any moment we could, like, an asteroid can come and hit us at any time, really.
Yeah, anytime now, come on.
Reported like asteroid like whizzing by Earth this weekend or something.
Yeah.
I would
And-
expect it to hit at this point.
Dude, I can look out my fucking window and see dinosaurs, and I'll just be like, oh.
Dinosaurs. Moby is gonna run out there and tell me I was one of you this whole entire time. Let me kick you in your snout.
I would.
She ain't denying it. She'll be in the dino onesie. You go like I'm brother and I'm here. I'm sorry I'm late.
In the inflatable dinosaur costume? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Never forget at MacFest when we all bought kazoos and we were in the arcade and somebody was in one of those and fucking Broba just starts playing the fucking Jurassic Park theme on the fucking kazoo.
I was gonna say something I can't remember now.
I don't remember. All I know is that, like, I know the stream was a very serious topic, and I know some people want to get away from this mess, but I promise you all the other streams will be more fun.
Yeah. It was important. It was
do-
important that we talked about it, and you know.
Yeah, we needed to talk about it. It was very.
And, but I promise that, like, from now, like, well, maybe not from now on, I won't mention it, but, I kind of want to give to people who are being worn down by, like, these series of events, like, a place to come and relax. So that would be what the services that I'm offering for.
I'm
Yeah.
offering you a chance to sacrifice your soul so I can have
What
nourishment.
the heck, man? I just like dropped dead without any warning.
Because they're like, whoa, this is dangerous. We're gonna stop. Whoa.
Sonic says, if you see an officer, break his fucking knees.
Spin dash right into him. I'll show you how.
You see anybody driving?
After bad cops. No, I'm kidding.
You see anybody driving a Mercedes Benz? Make sure you tell them to watch out for tornadoes.
Hi, my name is Ralsei. I'm driving a Mercedes Benz.
Oh no! Watch out!
My name is Mercedes Benz.
You sound like one of those little what is that? My sister used to have a computer. Those little
Microsoft Sam.
yeah, some little cheap little educational computers that's for little kids, and it had a voice that said like, "This is A.
This is the letter
My
A.
name is
This
Lana.
is the letter
You
B.
know what? Start with A. That is correct. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
That is correct.
A.
This is the color.
Shut up, I know.
Dolls go what? Dolls go wow. Yeah.
Yay.
Oh shit for brain.
Shut up.
No. I will not be silenced.
Oh
You
god.
cannot stop her.
Alright, who's still alive? What's happening?
I'm
Five.
alive.
Deep down inside, I'm dead.
I'm not alive myself.
By defeating the robot. Then we can use the item inside to get Eggman.
But yeah, this has been a tough year for pretty much everyone.
Every month we just like try to one up the last. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I have to say though, it's all the celebrities are now like, and they're competing now with YouTubers, and because they used to treat YouTubers like shit, they're all like, "Oh, please donate and subscribe." I'm like, "Bitch, you got billions. Why do I gotta sub to you?" Like, have you guys like seen some of the freaking like talk show hosts talking to people at night at their homes? They all look so miserable, and then there's like movie stars that are like freaking telling people, "Hey, if you don't subscribe on my Twitch, I won't continue doing live streams."
Oh my gosh, why?
And I'm like, "You're
What
not."
fucking celebrities are these?
These are like the poor in ones, the ones I like to say they like to showboat. The showboat ones, the reality stars, the D-listers, the ones who don't really own any money. They're renting all these things, and their job is just to show how perfect their fake lives are.
Ugh. Because I mean, I know voice actors have been doing a lot of live streaming lately, and I love it. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's cute. I don't know. I respect voice actors a hell of a lot more than I respect regular actors. Because they're not as full of themselves. You know what I mean?
It's not about their pretty face on the screen, it's about having fun.
Yes, yeah.
I'm doing this, I'm gonna die if I don't.
Do it, I believe. Yeah, there are some good voice actors out there. There's some shitty ones out there.
Vic Monogna. Oh, sorry.
I don't know about that. The
I don't
stories
like
have
him.
gone so weird in recent years. I don't know, but I don't think that-
Again!
Why don't you? Yeah, my sister wants to know why. Yes.
I just don't think Vic Monogna is a good person because, I know a lot of it is accusations, but like, he sued Monica Rial and Jamie Marchi, and then had the nerve to not show up to court, fired the lawyer that he originally had because the lawyer couldn't, like, give him a good case, I guess. And then the lawyer he had hired was just a fucking, like, unorganized disaster with no evidence to anything supporting his argument. And then, on top of that, he had a legal fund, like, GoFundMe thing to buy this fucking... He couldn't even buy a good fucking lawyer with that shit. And then he goes to his Discord channel and, like, cries to his fan... Like, I'm sorry, but anybody that owns, like, a Discord server and then goes to those fans and they say, oh, boo-hoo me, these people are doing bad things to me, that seems very sketchy to me. It just kind of feels, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, manipulative, and it makes people just blindly defend you. And then I've also heard stories about how Vic Mignogna, once there was a Jewish fan who had bought one of his anime CDs or whatever, but didn't buy his Christian band CD, and he's like, oh, why didn't you buy that one? And he's like, well, I'm Jewish. And he's like, oh, we can change that. Like, excuse you?
Wow.
What do you mean? Chick-fil-A would say that's great.
Why is Chick-fil-A the topic of the night?
Chick-fil-A, I like shitting on Chick-fil-A. People act like Chick-fil-A is like the best thing since sliced bread. Have you ever been? Yeah, white people love
Excuse me,
Chick-fil-A.
I love
White people like
Popeyes, and I love KFC too.
I hate KFC, it's shit. I just punched that bitch in the face.
I don't like KFC either. But,
It depends on what I'm eating from KFC. Because I'm not gonna lie, fucking KFC chicken sandwiches taste a little bit better than the Popeyes one. I mean, like, I know that everyone went fucking nuts for the fucking chicken sandwich from Popeyes, and I had it and I'm like, this is what people are, like, starting riots for? Like, I don't understand.
Okay, here's the thing. Alright? I went to the mall, and when I used to work at the mall, those fucking parents act like if they do not get their Chick-fil-A, their child will all a face hugger will bust from their child's stomach asking for Chick-fil-A, and they will have to sacrifice everybody in that fucking building so their child will get those fucking nuggets and fries. I had a woman, like, one time I was in line, and this woman literally got behind me, and she's like, excuse me, I have a child, can I get in front of you? And I was like,
Excuse me?
Oh
I told her,
my.
well, that's not my fault that you had that mistake. Because the kid was screaming, and she was like, oh, if only there was somebody, if I could just get to the food. She was like being a bitch behind me. So I said that. And she's like, my child isn't a mistake. I said, I wasn't saying the child was a mistake. I was saying it was your mistake not giving your child food before coming up here. You know?
Not just that, but it's also your mistake for, like, raising your kid to be a brat who screams when he doesn't get his fucking food.
Yeah. That's your fault. I didn't tell you to do that. I cannot tell you how many of these stupid parents think they can just get away with that. Like, I have a child. Great. You gave birth to this creature. That's not my responsibility.
This
You're supposed to
creature.
take care of that little thing. Not me. Alright? I didn't poop it out of my
Oh my fucking god.
That didn't come from me.
That is yours. Like, I can't stand it. Like, when, like, I can't tell you how many the crazy stories at Chick-fil-A. There was this one mother. She freaking her kid wanted, like, you know how they have the lemonade, right? This one mother wanted the lemonade, but unfortunately somebody else bought the last lemonade. And she yelled at this guy saying, like, how could you do that? There are children here who are hungry and starving and thirsty. My child cannot eat his chicken nuggets without his favorite drink, lemonade.
I'm supposed to eat this pizza.
My diet, Dr. Kelp.
She was like, my child is dying of thirst, and you took away his lemonade. Why couldn't you have soda? He can't drink those other sodas. They're bad for his skin and his health. And the guy just kept walking. He said, how can you ignore a child's plea? Just like that. That's a child! And I was just laughing.
You have a lot of interesting things happen in your life.
Dude, and I was at a fucking Chick-fil-A,
Yes, it's at the Chick-fil-A at the mall.
Oh my god. The weirdest thing that's ever happened to me was like the one of the 2 times I've ever walked into a fucking Chick-fil-A. I walked into Chick-fil-A in my Conan cosplay, but I had the cloak off, so it was her very slutty looking dress.
Somebody said, "Are you looking for God here?"
So here I am in a fucking blue wig. So that's strike number 1, unnatural hair color. Strike number 2, a piercing on my lip, that even though it was fake. And step number 3 was the fucking dress that I was wearing, and step 4 was the fucking hooker boots that I was. And they were looking at me like I was fucking weird.
I mean, you were.
I mean, you were pretty effing weird.
I mean, I don't even think what she wears is that, like, abnormal. Like,
It's
It
not.
wasn't Christian though.
no, it wasn't Christian.
Or
First of all,
they-
don't you know it's unchristian to dye your hair? Your
Yeah.
body is a temple. They say as they have a
You're
tattoo on their
allowed
arm.
to say
They say
Wait,
that your
wait,
body's a
are-
temple, and then those people also have a tattoo of Chick-fil-A on their arm.
Do people actually say you can't dye your hair?
I mean,
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
assume
there's
so.
religious group that believe if you do dye your hair, you are letting in the devil into your body.
They say as they dye their hair to get rid of their grays.
Yes, exactly.
No,
All
stop.
right, my sister is leaving.
Alright,
Uh-huh.
good night, Danita.
Good night. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you for your voice and opinion.
Oh, yes. You guys ever get time? Let me post this in here. Oh wait, she didn't give me the right.
Huh?
Well, my sister didn't give me the right link, but she does. My sister is an artist. If you guys ever want to catch her, she streams Mondays and Fridays.
Hey, same as me.
Yeah, but we do it early because we have to go to work at around fucking 3 o'clock, and our jobs hate us.
Yeah, that sucks too because most people are active and able to watch in the evenings. I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind if I lose this boss fight one more time. You guys still there? Did Discord die? Okay, Discord died. Ah, Discord!
Discord, like, mutes us or something, and she's gotta join the call again.
Wait, what happened? What happened?
Nothing.
What
do you mean,
happened?
what happened?
What happened? I unpaused the game and it went back to the main menu.
Oh. Well, it probably said, "Oh, you talking shit, Discord, bitch? And let me show you some bad times."
Someone sent determination. Thanks.
Oh, yeah, I can tell you another wonderful Chick-fil-A story that happened to me.
Okay.
This is a link to my sister's Twitch.
You guys?
Because I don't have her social media. I don't know where I put that link at. I'm very bad at being her secretary. She already fired me multiple times, but then she has no choice but to rehire me because I give her food. So there's another time during Christmas
We'll just have to find
when I
out.
was going to Chick-fil-A. There's these 2 young guys. They were clearly gay, and they're getting some Chick-fil-A. And they were like, oh my goodness. One had pink bubblegum hair, piercing.
Ooh.
And he was wearing a skirt. He was wearing a cute skirt. I told him like his skirt was cute. And he said, oh, thank you. And his boyfriend, had crazy electric blue hair. It reminds me of an airhead, the color of his outfit. And he had, some nice tight jeans and stuff like that. And this lady, in front of them, they told her to walk up And she was like, you know, she ordered her food and she's like, can you tell those young men not to stand behind me next time? I just don't think they're a good influence on my kids. Usually Chick-fil-A's don't allow people dressing up like that to come into this facility. So the people at our Chick-fil-A, they looked at her, they're like, what? And she's like, can you tell them to dress appropriately when they come over here to get some food? And so the one lady,
Wow.
her name is Martha, she's been there forever, and she was like, she said, ma'am, do you realize you're at a mall, you know, where teenagers hang out and do things? You ever been a teenager? Do you even remember being a teenager? And she's like, well, usually Chick-fil-A has such high standards and when it comes to customer service. And she's like, listen, you're just being rude to them because you don't like the way they're dressed. And FYI, we follow the rules of the mall, not the rules of Chick-fil-A necessarily. Okay, so Chick-fil-A is technically where they're at. Like, you know, like where the counters at, all the way to the back. That is Chick-fil-A. Everything outside in front of Chick-fil-A is considered the mall. Meaning you can dress up any other way. Yeah, like, yeah, his hair was like cotton candy, like, it wasn't like cotton candy, it was like spiky, but it was like bubblegum color. Like, you know that bright bubblegum pink.
So they were going for like that pastel cotton candy, like the
Yeah.
pink and blue.
Yeah, and they were kind of matching, you know, they were trying to look like candy. That was the whole point of it.
That's cute.
And, yeah, and she was just upset the fact that, you know, they were around, and she said, well, I thought Chick-fil-A didn't stand for the gays and the queers. And the one guys were like, and
And what?
I took off my name tag because I almost cussed her out with my name tag. But I was smart to take my name tag off and I quickly put it in my pocket. And I was like, bitch, if you don't like the way they look, then why the fuck are you here? To a fucking mall, alright? There could be somebody fucking walking around here naked, going to Spencer's to get a nice round dildo. You can't go around He said, please don't talk like that around my child. And I was like, what child are you talking about? Your imaginary child? She's like, oh, right next to me. I was like, there is no child next to me. She said, what are you talking about? My kid's next to me. And then everyone's like, your child's not next to you. And then she looked down. The kid wasn't with her. She started freaking out. And I was like, and then one guy was like, maybe your kid left because he didn't want to be around your negativity.
Yeah.
And she's like, Johnny! She said, she had the nerve to say, these hooligans scared my child. And then the kid was over there looking at the fucking cookies. And he was like, yeah. And she's like, come back here, baby. Don't you run away from your mother. And the kid was like, oh, their hair. He's like, I like the guy with the pretty bubblegum hair, and he reminded me of some cookies.
Dude, imagine thinking that the gays are more, like, bad for your child than yourself because you weren't paying attention to your goddamn kid.
And everybody just looked at her, and the one lady's like, Martha was like, can you please step aside? And she was like, you know what, let's just go. And of course she had fucking Claire's bags and, what is that, Jamboree bags.
All the shitty stores.
Yeah. Yeah. What century is from? I don't know what century she was from. She was clearly a slightly older woman. Well, okay, I shouldn't say that. I mean, I'm gonna stop saying that, alright? The bitch looked like she was around maybe her age. Alright, she was old enough to know the difference. Alright? If she was even if she was in her 80s, there's still no excuse. I've seen people who come up to the girls' teen department with their sons, and they're like in their 80s and they're trying to figure it out. Speaking of that, I had a guest one time this is another time during the holidays, when you work at the malls, all the freaks come out. Alright? And the worst people are the ones who dress normal. Alright? One time there was a person who came in who was dressed up like Julius Caesar. And I asked him, so you're going to a toga party? And he was like, no, this is how I normally dress. Why would you ask that? And I was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Did I tell you about the guy who looks exactly like Abraham Lincoln who used to shop where I used to work?
No.
There was a guy, he literally looked exactly like Abraham Lincoln. and he would come in and shop. And one time I asked my coworker about him. I was like, have you ever noticed that he looks exactly like Abraham Lincoln? And he was like, yes! Have you seen his business card? And he pulled apparently this Abraham Lincoln lookalike gave him his business card at one point. And his business card said professional Abraham Lincoln impersonator.
I don't know if that's something. I don't know. That sounds so weird.
It was like a joke business card, but it was great.
That must have been nice, though. Like, hey, I look like Abraham Lincoln.
It was amazing.
Did he ever wear a hat?
I didn't see him with a hat, but he had like the whole rest of the ensemble.
He wear a suit? Like tie or anything like that?
He had like a fancy coat and stuff.
Man. See him. Yeah, it's right. Abraham Lincoln was reborn. He liked to shop at your local store.
Yeah, it was
the freshest organic products.
It was great. It was amazing.
What was it? There was let's see. There was a lot of weird things that happened at my old job since I worked at the mall. Like whenever Apple phone they released, was it 11 or something?
I don't know.
They opened at the store. They had to have a couple of there because people were acting crazy for the new Apple phone. They were like, it snowed on that day, and they were all standing outside the door, and I couldn't get into the store because the officers was like, look, listen, if we let you in and they see you go in, these people are gonna mob, so you're gonna have to wait out here with these people. And I was like, why do I have to wait out here with these people? And there were people out there in shorts, people out there with babies, and I'm like, why would you bring a baby to an Apple store? And she was like, oh, this is my newborn, I just had her yesterday. And I was like, what? And she said, oh yeah, I had to get this new Apple phone. If I don't get it now, it's gonna be obsolete. And I was like, what?
Wow.
Are you serious? And then I found out from working at the Reds that is true. There be people out there who will have a brand new baby that literally they pooped out their butts. And they're like, let's go to a game in the sun, in the 90-degree weather. It's great. Our kid's gonna be fine. He's gonna grow up and love the sun. Even though he's gonna be crying and upset because he doesn't understand the change in temperature, he'll be fine. He'll be great. You know what? I'm gonna drink some beer while I'm at it too, because sure as enough hell, I haven't been drinking, and I need it. Oh my god, I just want to get out of my house. I had a woman tell me that. And I asked her, why are you talking to me? People at the Reds would talk pretty weird to me too.
I like that you can just say stuff like that to people too. Like I don't have the nerve.
I don't mean to say it, I just say it in a way that's kind of calming, and they just kind of just go like, whatever. Sacrifice our there you go, we have to sacrifice our newborn to check on the Reds to see if they win this home game. If they win this, then we knew we did the right choice. I just watch you fall through that. It's like, you did that little, you know what? I used to do that while playing this game, that little fucking boost jump right when you fall off, and I'm like, maybe I'll make it. Maybe Shadow will grab it, and I forgot this is a Sonic game. They never did shit like that.
What, do the automatic shit correctly?
Yeah, like, I'll never actually land it where I want to. Not in this game. I hated this level too.
I need to stop actually, because Kayla's very behind me.
I'm in
So-
Hang Castle right now. I don't remember if I'm on the second level or the first.
The boss is Agony.
Oh yeah.
Well, then we'll stop at the boss and come back to the boss next week.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop.
No. He's the MLB. We have to please the MLB. The catchers must get their child out over the plate. Sacrifice them
Hey,
for a home run.
I think I'm gonna stop my point of view for the night because
Okay.
I'm very ahead, and you're stopping when you reach this point anyway. So there's
Where did I go?
so there's no reason to continue. So I'm gonna stop. Everything's normal over here. Everything's fine. We're gonna have a fun chill stream on Monday. We'll play Legend of Zelda. And I think I'm going to start picking up doing Animal Crossing and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, both on Saturdays. That's something I'm thinking about doing.
What
So,
about Pokemon?
what about what?
What about Pokemon?
Oh, I'm gonna be playing Pokemon when the DLC comes out too.
We should do terrible competitive battles.
Okay. Oh yeah, Pokemon. The update happens on Wednesday in a couple weeks. So, also my birthday is coming up, and I'm gonna be streaming. I'll be streaming something on my birthday. I don't know what yet.
You should get a PO box so people can send you birthday presents.
I'm just gonna
Actually, I got my car fixed today, so my car works now, so I can
You
actually
can probably go to the post office tomorrow.
go. Yeah.
all I'm gonna send you are penguins. So praise the penguins.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get a PO box. I'm gonna fall off the cliff now. I'm just gonna quit.
You know what? If anybody got anything with Jason Griffin on it, give it to her. She
Do
wants
not.
it.
I absolutely will throw up. I'll throw up and I'll close the PO box. What was I gonna say?
Make sure,
Oh, I was gonna say
get Jason Griffin to say something like, "Hey there, Mobian Angel. I heard that I'm your favorite Sonic voice.
I'm
You want
gonna.
me to say your favorite line?
No, don't
That's
don't like.
in a car."
If he actually does shit like that, don't like be mean to him and like do that to him and have him say something to me who doesn't like him. So just I don't like
He's
him.
a nice person, just his Sonic voice is kind of eek.
I don't like him, and I don't like his Sonic, but I don't think you should be mean to him. So don't
I love Eggman. If
don't
you have anything,
don't be a jokester and have him say something as a means to be mean to me because you think he's horrible or something. Just leave him alone.
Meanwhile, I would love to hear anything from Dan Green or
Somebody
the
said
voice
they would
of
send me
Dr. Eggman.
their
because
undying
they're
love.
both fantastic.
Mike Pollock is fucking great.
Yes,
And
he is,
Blaze.
he is Eggman.
Send Blaze.
Eggman.
I was gonna say. Oh, I was gonna say
Laura
send me
Bailey
your.
is Blaze. I
send-
think Laura Bailey does do those videos.
Send
Laura Bailey is everybody.
send me your coronavirus.
What the fuck?